Yo, what is good? My anime people, what is good, yo? So, I have something to say real quick about this week's episode of Afterlost. Hmm. I definitely like the show. I'm not gonna say I don't like the show. But the problem is these 12 episode intervals of these shows. I kind of am left at a I don't know, like it feels like a sour taste in my mouth pretty much. And because of that, it's not something I really want to recommend to anybody. Like, hey, I recommend you watch this story that even I don't really think it has a concise ending. Like I don't know. That's not that's not my place to really send people into that. I mean, there's already been shows that I have seen that have done that, but to to know that this show seemingly looked like it had ways of explaining all these things and just decided not to was kind of disappointing. So that's kind of where I am standing right now with this show. Like, I'm just disappointed in the overall end of it all because none of it was really explained to the fact of, oh, and this could be possibly why this happened, or none of that. It's literally all up to the audience. And I know there's probably going to be some people out there that are like, then if it's up to the audience, then you should understand it. Well, please explain to me what you believe happened. And I'm pretty sure if you actually are watching all of this video, you'll understand what I believe. So, what I believe actually happened at the end of this, seeing her father being choked and seeing pretty much everything she's been fighting for and trying to learn about to be taken out of her grasp again. She finally gets to use all of her powers because not only is she fighting against somebody hurting someone that she cares for, she's not just defending herself against like her brother, for instance, or defending herself against others who are trying to, beat her up. She's literally trying to protect somebody now at this point. And we see that her powers are like going off, and then next thing you know, old girl is not really doing any damage. Like, what the guy in there tells us that's pretty much trying to save his own world and whatnot is he didn't come in there with his physical body. Like, it's pretty much just his mind, or just the ability of her summing up her bodyguard. That's kind of the only thing that's in there. And because of that, he shouldn't be affected by much of anything. Oh, God, I remember this mission. Um, but because of that, we learned that that's really not the case. Like, it doesn't really matter in this world, in this little area that they're in, because there's so much he doesn't even understand at this point. That regardless of what you do, regardless of how much you fight, you might not understand or comprehend how powerful she is, and then boom, bam, uh, it just changes. Like, the loss has no real, seemingly, you know, as much understanding as the human world supposedly. So anything that goes kind of just goes, and that's what it felt like with this whole ending. Whatever goes just goes. And so with the father trapping the bad guy, like, he's being pretty much choked, and because he like takes his attention off of the guy who he's came there into the lost to take care of in the first place, he takes his focus off of him. He is able to pretty much put him in another part of the loss that he controlled somehow, and it just sent him like into a place where he couldn't get out, right? And he shows his daughter what type of life they could actually have, what the life would look like if you actually do his plan and allow this, to commence. But because of this, she, tells her father like, "Hey, we don't need to reset everything. And if I do reset stuff, that means anybody who was born, any connections that were made, all that stuff will be lost. And it will all be because of me. And then people who love each other or may have gotten over and gotten stronger in this world, none of that will exist anymore just because of my decision. And all of us who have moved forward and gotten this strong have figured out that, this is what we want, that we move forward, we are better than what we were back when it all happened. So it's a very interesting notion, but at the same time, it's almost like the show itself was kind of like, we don't want to do that much work. Like, look how much work we have to do. We have to right everybody's wrongs. We have to make everybody happy. And then they're just like, screw it. We'll just even take away the main character's memory of all of this, because I'm guessing by the time she does this, she comes up with this decision to not change everything and to keep it the way it is, and to practically just leave out and, allow the lost and all that stuff to coexist wherever it is now, and this world that's already up to exist as well. So it was a very interesting decision on her part, but at the same time, it definitely didn't feel like her real decision when it came down to if she knew what the other cost would be after leaving. Like, so after she says she's gained all these things and started to love all this stuff, she then loses it all. Like, at that same instance of telling us this is worth fighting for, this place is where I want to be, all of it's taken away. Her memories of a person that she truly wanted to start her new life with, almost all the people around her, but supposedly she remembers them and just not the one thing that she actually wanted to remember, which is the person who sacrificed his life to going in there. And from what I could tell, it's almost as if he's dead, because not only has he disappeared off the face of the earth and nobody can figure out just where he's gone, it's almost as if he wasn't supposed to be going down there, because he wasn't an observer like she was. And that's what I was getting to, as her memories are lost. That other branching universe of memories and all that stuff that she had, witnessed, she only loses the experience of her having with this one person she was with the whole time. That was weird to me, It seemed like another way to kind of write off this story, like, oh, there can't be more, because guess what? Either this guy's straight up dead, or he like exists in the lost now, and the only reason why she got out was because he was the one who like pretty much became one of her abilities or something and helped get her out before it was too late. And then he became the same thing that the guy in the car, the guy with all the machine guns is to her, because even at the end of the show, it goes and shows us that she kind of has a little bit of a grip on, what someone to her could be, Like, it seemed like as soon as she saw something that reminded her of him, or she was still drawing pictures of the moped, hearing anybody's moped made her turn back and, look. All of these things were just indications that there's some type of memory there, but it's just not fully connected somehow in her brain. And that's why even the scientists who helped her in the first place, like to get to her father, they're the ones who got the message, and the guy who was repairing the moped all the time, all remembered him. Everybody remembered him, even the person he worked for before, and the redhead girl. Everybody remembers this guy, but her. And the end credit thing just pretty much tells us, hey, maybe we'll see you somewhere, sometime. And I'm just like, is that your way of saying to be continued, or are you just saying, gotcha, it's over, GG, and that's a wrap, you know? Like, I can't tell. But overall, that's kind of my whole perspective on what happens at the end of all this, and what really kind of put everything into perspective at the time that it tried to, even though it kind of felt a little bit lost in translation, with just how much was going on in the overall scheme of the episodes. I mean, I definitely wanted to see more of what could be possible. I mean, the other thing that was weird to me is when they straight up take out the main bad guy, right? He pretty much, only reason why he lost was because of the girl back at where, I was talking about, hey, we didn't even get to see what happened between them. We didn't even understand, like, the comprehend what they could have did with their powers and stuff. And all it turned out to be was a gunfight. Like, someone shooting a gun, he shot his gun back, and that was it. Like, they made it seem like this really big part that it could have been, like somehow she did something and still lost against someone who shouldn't have been as powerful as her if she's been experimented on. And then it just comes out to find out that her bullet was destroyed by his bullet, and la-di-da, she got shot. But because her bullet was destroyed, it still somehow sent a fragment into him that allowed his body to be like weakened at a perfect moment for us to strike. Like, I don't know, it's just Deus Ex Machina, I think that's what they call it. It's like, come on, bro, like, all this stuff felt so convenient out of a show that's like science, and all this talk about like parallel worlds, and you're trying to be cool like that, to then give us a undercutted win in the case of just some girl who we never knew was actually going to portray the guy. Some girl who literally seemed like she was on his side the whole time until just an episode they said that she's not. And then she becomes pretty much the hero because she stopped him from being able to finish like the fight. So yeah, with all that being said, I got more videos to make, but I am not sure how much are going to get put on this week. So with all that, I hope you guys have an awesome one. I definitely am concerned about some of these endings, but at the same time, I'm only concerned because I was passionate about the shows and I wanted to see the best outcomes. Um, and just because I don't see those great outcomes that I was praying for, doesn't mean the show is bad. Doesn't mean the show is something I, regret watching now. Um, I was just more, I had more ideas of what could be possible, I guess, than what the show itself wanted to be possible. And that happens, and I think that's a good thing because it presented so much and could do so much. It's just with whatever I came up with didn't meet my expectations. So whatever, whatevs. I want to definitely hear what you guys think about this if you have been watching it. Holy crap, this guy is so strong. Um, and if you have, if it's something, you recommend people to see, or if you didn't really even like it that much, whatever the case may be, I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about these shows. I honestly am ready for new shows and stuff to be able to talk to you guys about whatever, new show comes next. And because of that, I will definitely, God, this guy's annoying. I will definitely talk to you guys in the next one. I think I'll be looking into just what other shows I might have in the background. Like, for instance, if there's a show that comes out and then it takes a break, I definitely want to have other shows that I'm watching to be fallbacks and stuff like that. So Have an awesome one, everybody. Make sure you're talking in the comments. I read all of them. Even if they're negative, I just probably won't respond to it, so don't expect that. But I do see everything, so I hope to hear from you guys, or at least see what you're feeling towards these types of shows. Take care, and peace.